You know how many times did Henry Ford go to bankrupt before making it big like Ford company? It's two times. Here are the two companies that Henry Ford making bankrupt before making it big. First one is Detroit Detroit Automobile Company and second one is Henry Ford Company. This time he make his name as a brand, but it's failed. Here now we'll check the reasons why it's failed. First, Detroit Automobile Company. First, Ed, when he launches the first company, Ford quits his day job. However, he was a talented engineer, was unable to balance the finances of his company, and finally unable to repay his debts. He was forced to file bankruptcy. You can see the logo of his first company on the right side. Here are the beside it a newspaper article on the company. The article says that this is the best car company have at the time. If you want to check by pause the video and you can. And the other two photos there which are taken from the Ford Museum is the belongs to Detroit Automobile Company. Now the Ford second chance. He failed to properly brand and market his vehicle when he spelled financial disaster. The public did not understand Ford invention and his sales tanked. In the same way as the first time, once again unable to repay its debts and finally forced to file bankrupt. Second time. Not the before two times, now third times is a charm with Ford Motor Company. Undeterred, Henry Ford saw the bankruptcy as a clean state of continued with his passion. This time he had more experience under his belt and could correct his mistakes. He made with two bankrupted companies and Ford Company and captured everyone's attention by breaking the landscape record with his invention. Ford forged on by creating the new simple, steady, cheap motor Model T design. He also utilized the famous moving assembly like increasing productivity immensely. Here are the Ford company logos from starting till now. Check it. Here are the three things that we can learn from Henry Ford. First one is think optimically. Henry Ford once said, if you think you can or you think you cannot, either way you are right. Although he had only 2 years of formal education, he believed he could make car affordable for an average person. It was a huge dream that would make many years to achieve. With hard work, perseverance, innovation, and his vision ultimately became a reality. Ford now only became extremely wealthy, he also changed the world. If he wasn't optimistic about his goals and dreams, he would have given up. And the second one. Next one is failure isn't a failure if you learn from it. Henry Ford once said, failure is the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Ford realized that failure wasn't really failure as he learned something from the experience. Although Mr. Ford went bankrupt for a couple of times, he did not give up his dream. He also said, we must learn that setbacks which we endure help us in our marching forward. And the third time is preparation and attention to detail is essential. Henry believes. As Henry Ford said, before everything else, getting ready is the secret of success. One of the reasons that Model T was so successful was that Ford and his engineers paid attention to the tiniest details. Everything that they have learned from the previous models was carefully considered when designing the Model T. In his book, My Life and Work, he said, every detail had been fully tested in practical. There was no guessing as whether or not it would be successful model. Henry Ford predicted came true. Ford Motor Company ultimately produced 15 million Model Ts within 19 years. Here are the three we can learn from Henry Ford. Yes, Henry was responsible for the countless historical contributions. Did you know? Here are the Henry Ford secrets. Henry was fired for his first job. Thomas and Henry are remained close friends. Early in his career, Henry built and drove race cars. Henry created a Ford social department to monitor employees like gambling and drinking. Henry Ford was also a philanthropist. He established seven schools throughout the country. Check this the article given on the Henry Ford. Here's one more article. Ford sells 4 million cars in 4 years. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe now. Now. If you don't subscribe, Henry Ford will not be happy. Subscribe us now. Hi, this is my first video. I think I have made many mistakes in the audio format and all this stuff. If you want to suggest me anything that I want to improve, comment below.